4 hours from now, Governor Gavin Newsom of California and Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida will be debating live on Sean Hannity's show on Fox News Channel from Alpharetta, Georgia, in prime time across the country, even though they're technically not running against each other for anything. Now, back in 2018, Republican John Cox ran against then-Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom in an actual race for governor of California and debated him at the only time that Newsom would agree to, a Monday morning on public radio with no TV cameras allowed. Tonight, Cox is out with a new book, The Newsom Nightmare, The California Catastrophe, and How to Reform Our Broken System. John Cox joins us live now. Hi, John. Good to see you. Congratulations on the new book.
Great to be with you, Alex. Appreciate the opportunity.
The book is really good. It's very detailed and looking at a lot of the big issues that California is dealing with.
Yes.
Goes one by one, sort of goes into the weeds of it. But let's start, though, with this debate, since that's top of mind for a lot of people. What did you learn from debating Gavin Newsom, and what's your advice for Governor DeSantis?
Well, you know, Gavin Newsom likes to talk about all the hot-button social issues because that's what he knows, and that's what he knows was going to get attention. So he'll probably talk about abortion and guns and climate change, and he'll ignore the myriad of other issues that have actually been a complete failure in this state. The homelessness crisis, which has almost gotten worse, the cost of living, the high taxes here, the shortages of housing, energy, and water that he hasn't done anything about, the education system that spends $100 billion a year and has results that are some of the worst in the nation. The wildfire response has not been dealt with. Our roads are a disgrace. Crime is increasing. You just run down the list, Alex, and it's a job of mismanagement. That's what the book talks about. That Gavin Newsom has basically turned the state of California over to special interest groups. And he's collected millions of dollars in contributions from these groups, and they get something for it. They get something that they like. They get legislation and action that they like, but that makes life very, very difficult for the average Californian. And that's what I talked about during the campaign. I talked about it during the debate, but it didn't get much notice. The things that got noticed were abortion, guns, and gay marriage.
And you talk a lot about influence peddling and how that affects pretty much every single important issue in this state. And you've also been talking for years about electoral reforms to try to change the system, to try to lessen some of that influence peddling. What's an example of a realistic reform you think that could actually get passed or get done that would make a big difference?
Well, people should buy the book. It's on Amazon. I'll get that out there. But it does talk about a solution, Alex. And what we have to do is we have to get money out of the system. And the best way to do that is make it unnecessary. So I'm proposing a solution with regard to the U.S. Congress. Very few people would argue that we have a dysfunctional U.S. Congress. As a matter of fact, there was an article today in the L.A. Times about that very issue. So many congressmen are leaving. A congressional district is 750,000 people. When you have a district that large, you need tons of money, and there are all kinds of interest groups that are happy to give you that money if you do what they want. What I propose is to subdivide those large districts into 100 little tiny ones. So each district would only be about 7,500 people. The 100 people then that are elected in these tiny little districts, they get together and they decide the one person that goes to Washington to be the congressman. The other 99 stay home. The effect of this, Alex, is to take money completely out of the system, and we'll get people, I think, that will be able to be responsive to their constituents. The voters will actually get a chance to know people when they campaign in a district of only 7,500 people, and they'll know that they're not just professional fundraisers that are doing what these interest groups want. Like in Iowa, where you actually get a chance to meet the candidate, which doesn't happen that much in California. All right, last question. Not at all. What's next for you? Because this certainly feels like this could be your case against Gavin Newsom almost for a presidential run. We know you've run for that before, run for governor before. Are you done with electoral politics? Well, my wife has served me notice that that's a far-fetched answer for me. Unless some billionaires in California decide to come up and finance a run here, she's told me we'll pass on the next electoral campaign here. I'm enjoying my family, my businesses, but I want to stay involved in the process here. And I think it's very important, Alex, that we get this kind of electoral reform. This country is the greatest country in the history of the world. It's been wonderful to me because I've been able to achieve success growing up. And I want to make sure that everybody else has that opportunity. And I just don't think it's available anymore. We need to get good leadership, and this country can do it if we get the electoral reform I'm talking about. People can go, by the way, to hearthepeople.org.
Okay.
Hearthepeople.org is the website.
And we also want to plug the book one more time, The Newsom Nightmare, The California Catastrophe, and How to Reform Our Broken System, out now, Amazon, wherever your books are sold. John, you've always been very kind and fair to me, and it's great to see you. Congrats again.
You too.
Thanks.